Hi, my name's Scott Anthony, and I wanted to share something with you that I know that a lot of men don't want to tell you. And the reason they don't want to tell you is because it's like looking over the wall, looking over the barrier that men have built to keep our wives and our partners and our friends from seeing what's really going on inside our lives. I presume your partner, your husband, your mate is in his 40s and maybe a bit older, but like a lot of guys, as we get to that stage, we get a bit frustrated. We're working hard, we're trying to provide for the family and work our way through the positions and where we're supposed to be in our life. Because as men, we constantly feel judged. We feel like we're supposed to have supported our families, supposed to be earning a certain amount of money, giving lifestyle, having the house, and just setting things up that we men are thought or raised and wired perhaps to believe that we're supposed to provide for our families. And I'm really glad that you're watching this, because lots of men don't want to share this information because it's personal. It makes us feel vulnerable, and it makes us feel like in some ways we haven't done what it is we want to do, but it's because quite often we don't know how. But as men, we're raised and taught to provide, and quite often our fathers haven't shown us how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to work, how we're supposed to behave, and how we're supposed to inspire ourselves to overcome the fears that are holding us back. Now, I was no different. I was apprehensive, shy, reserved, insecure, feeling inadequate, and I pretended my way through life, and I pretended my way from one job to another, from one relationship to another, and I realized that the women in my life were looking to me to be a shining example, to have all the answers, and the other males in my life were expecting me to also have the answers. But quite often they didn't have themselves, yet wouldn't have the courage to say. But something really happened to me that made me stop. And when it did, I turned my life around, and I want to show you the same type of things that are perhaps holding your husband back and what's at risk for you and your family. Because if your husband, partner, mate or friend, or perhaps you, don't get this right, you're going to live a life of quiet desperation like 95% of us do. And there is a better way forward. Now, who am I? Well, I'm just an average person, grew up, parents, not the most perfect childhood, but also not the worst. I was put down, abused in some areas, but not as worse as a lot of other people have. But today it's a beautiful Friday afternoon, Friday morning. There are beautiful birds making all sorts of funny noises. And I'm here because I don't have to go to work. I've replaced my income. I've set things up where today I can take my wife out for lunch, where I've got a business that other people are doing the work. And Friday's a day that I get to celebrate my life. And I've already booked the next holiday for my family because the money's there to be able to do that. And if that's something that you would like, just imagine if your husband or your partner could find a way through, he wouldn't have to go through what I went through and what other people have gone through. But what I did managed to turn me around from going from an average income of $50,000 a year to turning over $14 million in sales. Now, it's well over that now, but I just use 14 million as a benchmark. What difference would that make to your life? Would that take some stress away? Would that make your husband feel more confident? Would you like him to walk in that back door or front door and feel alive and feel like the man that you married or the partner that you fell in love with? Or instead, would you like the pathway that so many men take and that two of my best friends went down? My best friend Alex had a 4-month-old son and a 4-year-old stepson. And the pressures of life, the frustrations of a family business and the position they kept putting him down on, and the frustrations that he was daily dealing with life and family business and expectations, and just a mind-numbing drain on his life where he couldn't see a way out. That in the end, one morning at 8:25, I got a phone call. And it was his wife ringing me in tears, telling me that my friend had just committed suicide. And 3 days before, he was in my office talking to me about the frustrations of what he was dealing with. But as much as I tried to help him, I had no idea of the depths of despair that he was in. And for him to take his own life is an absolute tragedy. He's left his 2 sons, he's left his wife behind. And how would you feel if that was happening to you? Because your husband or your partner was going through something that you didn't fully understand. You saw the surface of what he was showing, but deep down inside there was another fire and energy and burn he really wanted to live but didn't know how. Well, I found out how I can do that, and that's why I changed my life around, because I didn't want to happen to me that happened to my best mate Alex. And it's an absolute tragedy, and I miss him every day, but I don't miss him as much as his wife and kids do. But I can't bring him back. But I've been at that point of despair. I've been through some things in my younger years that have taken me to the brink and to the edge. And when you think there is no way out, and I can tell you, we don't tell other people. We get grumpy, we get angry, we pull back, we get reserved. We look for pain relief, whether it's drugs or alcohol or friends or other women in some cases, and we do things that aren't right, but we do them because we're desperately looking for a way out. And when we come home and our partners with best intentions don't understand what we're going through, sometimes it makes it worse when this is said and when that is said. But it can all be changed if, as men, there's a way to break this cycle. And one of my other best friends a few years ago was driving his sons to a soccer match, and he pulled over in the car, was checking the map, and he grabbed his chest. He's 42 years old, super fit, things going well on the surface, yet the stress and the conditions of what his body was doing, he suffered a massive heart attack. And he is also no longer with us. And he's left behind 3 beautiful kids, gorgeous wife, and a whole string of friends that never thought this would have happened to him. And he was a tremendous bloke, and the interesting thing was, he thought everything was going well, he thought everything was going right, and it was. But the conversations we as men would have were, there were still frustrations in his life, still things he wanted to do. And he had no idea what was coming. He had no idea, even though he was fit and healthy, and he looked after his body, he looked after himself. He still had his life ripped away from him and his family. So we never know what's going to happen. I never know when the horizontal box is going to come along that they're going to lie me in before they put me in the ground. And your husband, partner, friend, mate is going through the same thing. We just aren't very good at telling you. So I've built a program that taught me how to go from zero to over $14 million. I now coach other people on how to break the cycle of fear, how to overcome our own obstacles, and how to push through and start living from today. And that's what I want to share with you. I want you to help your partner understand that if you're behind him 100%, if you're encouraging him, and if you believe in him, and if you show him videos like this, where there is a way that you can get him back, where he can be encouraged, and when he knows you're in his corner, when he knows that you're going to support him, you're going to have faith, and that you care about what it is he's saying, what it is he's feeling, and what his real big dreams are, and what he would like to achieve in life, you're going to get it back 10 times more than you can imagine. He's going to love you with more ferocity. He's going to love you with more passion. He's going to have more energy to want to put into the relationship. He's going to be there for you more. He's going to be there for the kids. He's going to feel less stressed. He's going to feel more alive, more invigorated, more confident. Because when you get behind him and say, babe, you know what? This guy, he's got something I reckon might be of interest to you. Trust me. I believe in you. I love you. But I want you to start living the life you know you're meant to live. Let's stop chasing ourselves around in circles. Let's stop arguing and bickering and living a life where we're just struggling to make it through. Week in, week out, month in, month out. We don't even know how well the business is going to go. We don't even know how well or how long we're going to keep our jobs for. We don't know how we're going to pay for the school fees and the kids' activities and uniforms and just their college. How are we going to pay for all those things? How do all those things just magically appear when there's no one to show us how to do it? We haven't done this before, and life's hard. I get that. And if you have that conversation with your partner, if you turn off distractions, if you play this video and show him that, you know what, there is a way if you work together. And as women, you are the most powerful force in a man's life. When you look into his eyes, when you tell him how much you love him, how much you believe in him, and how much you hold back your own personal opinions through fear of not being heard. If you love your man and show him that you're going to be there and that you're proud of him and that you encourage him to really start to chase his dreams, you will discover there's a man inside you haven't yet brought out. He will be the greatest man you've ever imagined because he's now got the confidence that you're going to be there as a support rather than a critic. So what I would love you to do is I'd love you to look at the next video that I want to put in this link attached on the left here. And what it's going to do is the video is going to be a direct conversation from me to your husband, your partner, your friend. And I want to take you on a journey through what I went through and what took me to the edge of suicide and what stopped me and what turned my life around from frustration and fear to freedom, over $14 million, how I've helped other people around the world, and how I want to help you get your life back so you and your partner can have the life that you both live and dream of. Because just imagine, can you turn back the clock of the last 5 years and do any of those days again? None of us can. Can you stop and can you reprogram your mind and start to change what you can now go and do tomorrow and how you can set yourself up to live the life you really want? The answer to that is yes. So just imagine if between now and the next 3 weeks, you started to do a couple of things different. You played a couple of videos on your computer or your phone that I send you. You start to turn off distractions just for 10 minutes at a time. And you start to believe there is a way forward where you can break out of the life you've got, keep the things you love, but start to build the life you really want. Because look at your fitness and look at your health. Even if you think it's good. My best mate Frank was in fine form. Beautiful family, house, job was okay. He was fit, we played golf every Friday and we thought things were going well. Until that heart attack. When I was in my office and my daughter, who was at my friend Frank's house, rang me and said Frank's just been rushed to hospital. I never saw my friend again. It was a tragedy I don't wish upon anyone's life, their partner's life, or their family's life. So imagine if that was you. Imagine if your husband went out the door today and he never came back. Do you want him going out and just working? Or do you want him going out knowing he's chasing his passion, living life for his love and his family, and together spending more time, together unified in a direction of how you want to share your life together? Or do you want to get divorced and live a life of frustration like so many people do now, and then just make the struggle twice as hard? Why not work together? Why not show your husband the love that you've got for him, the way that you can inspire him and be everything you both want your relationship to be in full? There is something truly beautiful about a relationship when it's on fire, when you're supporting each other, and when family and friends look at you and admire what it is you have as a couple and what it is that you can inspire each other to become. Because I promise you, everything you want from your man is inside. He doesn't know how to bring it out. He's a bit apprehensive. He's a bit doubtful. He's a bit insecure. And he is fearful of being judged when he steps out of the zone that he's created to protect himself from ridicule and discomfort. As men, that's what we go through. Any man that says that's not true isn't telling the truth. How do I know this? I've coached lots of men and I understand the patterns that go through each of our minds at different stages. So let's set you up. Let's set you, your life, your love up, and the energy, the vitality, the lifestyle, the income, the health, and the time together that you really want. And before I close, I want to ask you one question. Are you worth 10 minutes per day to change things in your life? If you think you're not worth and your relationship isn't worth investing 10 minutes, then that's fine. Delete this video and don't watch anything I have to offer. But if you're interested in changing your life and bringing your husband back to being the man you know he is, or you hope he is, then I'm telling you, he really is, bring it out. Start living from this moment. Hit that button and watch the next video, because this video I've shot for your husband, for your partner, for your mate, and even for you. I want to show you what is possible. There's 3 videos, each one less than 10 minutes. Let's start changing your life today, because if we don't, nothing is going to change. My name is Scott Anthony. I went from frustration to freedom, from 0 to $14 million. I've helped thousands of other people. I can't wait to help you, and let's make this next 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years of your life the most phenomenal 3 years, weeks, months and days you've ever imagined. But we've got to do it by doing things different. Watch this next video together with your partner and start living life.